It's the Geek Show Helpdesk. What's up, everybody?
Hey guys.
Hey,
Tony, you're sounding higher than. Oh, that's Lando.
That's Lando.
I love that it came in with so much excitement, and you guys are like, meh.
Yeah, I think we felt your excitement. We're like, no, you don't, Lando. How dare you?
How
dare
your
you?
excitement, and I reject it.
Yeah, how do you?
Have had a week.
Oppositional defiance disorder made me do that. It was like, Lando's coming with energy. I got to counter that. With
Yeah, that tracks.
Mm-hmm.
Well, you found us, everybody. This is the Geek Show Helpdesk, where we talk about science, tech, and other goodness stories that we like to talk about. We think are podcast worthy. We bring into your ear holes each and every week, and we give you our commentary, and we tell you how much fun we have and how much we like it, and we tell you our opinions and all those good things. And we have witty banter, and most importantly, I'm going to do this up front because I think this is important because I'm not sure how many people actually listen to the end. But right now, we have a very special thing happening on our Patreon. If you sub, we are 3 subs away from getting more exclusive Owen content.
Oh my goodness.
4
guys.
subs?
4 subs.
3.
We've gotten 2.
Yeah,
Like it's 6?
It's
Plus
6.
Oh, you're
Two,
right.
four.
Only 4 more dollar
Equals
subs.
6.
That's it. 4 of you
Don't-
out there right
don't-
now, if you
don't-
have not subbed to the Patreon
Oh.
quite yet, you are missing out. 2 weeks ago, we got one of the best Owen stories you've ever heard in your life.
I don't know.
And there's another one
guys.
locked and loaded in the chamber. We
pretty
should 4
good.
more subs. That's it.
Pretty
You
good.
guys,
That's
You
it.
guys, it's not.
Let's introduce our hosts.
It better
Let's
be
start
really good,
with my
Owen.
buddy here.
Now better.
Jaren.
Hey, this is Jaren. You can find me on Blue Sky at Jaren.
Or Jaren.best.
Yeah.
It's important that we mention that.
Every time.
Okay, down here in this corner, we have Tony.
Hey, I'm feeling a little bit significantly better this week. Just don't sound
That
better.
took you down. That took you down for a solid week.
Oh man, it was not good.
Was it officially the flu? It sounds like
Oh yeah, for sure.
influenza
aches.
A and
Everything, fever,
the whole deal.
cough that I'm trying to ditch right now. It's not working. Messed up my voice. So yep.
Gotta run faster, dude.
Oh, that's just gonna make me cough more.
Guy
Anyway,
down here.
we got
Speaking of
Owen down
running
here.
fast, I'm watching Sonic 2 for the first time with the kids.
I'm trying to introduce Owen,
And
Jared.
I got to say, Sonic
This
1
is
was
a-
much better so far. I'm only halfway through Sonic 2.
Sonic 2's okay.
It's okay.
Isn't there a Sonic 3?
There is. I haven't seen that one yet either.
Sonic 2's good. It's got the gems, right?
It's got tails.
Yeah, the emeralds, the Chaos Emeralds.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, now
Well,
it's Owen's
but
turn.
there's less James Marsden, and that
Jaren,
when there's less
Jaren,
James Marsden,
Jaren,
it's always
Jaren,
a
can
disappointment.
I need the mute
Yeah.
power here, Tony. Will you please help me
You can't.
out?
I'm Owen.
It's Owen's
Follow me,
turn to introduce himself.
Follow me here.
Thank
I often
Gosh.
I'm often thrilled to hear Sonic movie updates. So thanks, Jared, for that.
Is the Knuckles series any good?
Hold on, stop, Jared.
Knuckles
Here's what I
series
think
is very
happening.
good,
Stop,
and the
stop.
Knuckles movie.
I
Yeah.
said earlier,
Well,
I was
there's
gonna
a
keep
Knuckles
this
movie?
train on his tracks, and Jaren is bound in a tournament
That's
to not
Sonic.
let me do that.
Oh no, Sonic. No, Sonic
Tony,
3 is.
I need the power. I can't.
I don't-
Wait, Tony, is there a Knuckles
Oh,
movie?
I muted.
No,
the
there's
wrong
not.
one.
Knuckles
Sorry.
movie is Sonic 2, right?
Sorry, there we
Well,
go.
Knuckles appears in Sonic 2.
Yeah.
There we
And
go.
then-
Thank you.
All right.
Thank
yeah.
you. Here we go.
They're
So
doing
yeah,
that on
there's our
purpose.
hosts, as squirrely and as off topic as they are. We love them, but sometimes we hate them.
I
Jaren,
need to
one of
know if
those
there's a
times-
Knuckles movie or not.
No, it's a series.
So Jared, do
That's
you have
what
any
I thought.
emails, my friend? Jared, it's email
Wait,
time.
wait.
Stay
don't
focused.
forget about our host today, Mr. Lando.
I did.
Yeah.
I-
Oh,
we got a
I like
host.
that. I did. I said that. But he heard me and he ignored me.
I don't know what's happening right now.
You have to introduce yourself as a
it's
host.
like herding cats.
You're the
Oh.
cat master.
I'm the host.
I wonder what
I'm
that's
the host
like.
of the most today. My name's Lando. I'm affectionately known as the Patreon pimp, and I love that title for me.
Affectionately known.
Yeah.
Infectionately.
Okay, Jared,
There we
emails.
go.
It's email time now, my friend.
Yeah. Emails. Here we go.
Wait. Nope. Wait.
Close enough.
Nope. Wait.
I love that you added that one.
All right.
I'm
On
glad
to
that
the
one made the
emails.
soundboard.
So, Owen, why did you think there was a Knuckles movie?
Jared,
there is a Knuckles
focus.
movie. Sonic 2 is the Knuckles movie.
Oh, I see what you're saying.
Yeah.
Focus.
Just like
That's
Sonic
young
2,
Padawan.
Sonic and Knuckles is the Sonic 2 game.
So not only is this
Yeah,
off
you're
topic,
right.
but this is game show content. is
No,
what
this is the email because there are no emails, so this is the email.
You made me push the button for nothing?
No, we're talking about it right now.
Jaren will send in an email posthumously.
Yeah. About Sonic and Knuckles.
It
Yeah.
doesn't count.
I'm
if
pretty
you send
sure
a
there's an
post to-
email from Twyman.
No, there's not.
There's not?
Uh-uh.
Is it an arcade?
No. No.
He told
emails
me
there
he
either.
emailed, and he got it in before last week's. And he's like, you guys didn't even read my email, jerks.
He must be sending it to
Sure
the wrong
there's not an
place.
email?
Oh, I found an email in spam for the arcade show. I'm gonna
That's
put
what we
that
think
out of
of you.
spam. Let me see if there's anything in spam for Helpdesk.
Thank you.
Oh, there is a spam.
Is
Way
it
to
Twyman?
go.
Please,
Okay,
please
so
Twyman
don't.
went to
Twyman-
spam. That
Twyman,
makes
you
sense,
need to-
actually.
You
That
need to
actually
quit-
tracks.
You need to quit scamming people with your email
Yeah, bud.
because it throws everything in spam now.
Quit that marketing campaign for laser discs, my guy.
All right. Email from Twyman. Thanks, Tony, for calling that out. I would never have seen
I
it.
got you, Twyman. Don't worry, man.
He says, Owen, please share with the group what it was like when you found out the James bathroom story had been found. Specifically, your thoughts on the amount of time spent. Thanks, Twyman.
I've already defended myself, I think, accurately and sufficiently.
Wait. So for context, Owen spent
speci-
hours and used AI to try to find the poop story. Twyman, it took him 5 minutes.
Only-
5 minutes.
True.
5
That's
minutes.
true. I was told we didn't have the files. I did.
Oh, we don't?
No, we don't. And I checked my podcast app, and I found it in there immediately, within 5 minutes, just like he did. But I didn't
After
check this-
Twyman already found it, though.
No, in the pocket cast I have. It just
So
couldn't
then
play
why did it take you hours?
because I was trying to find it in the misnamed and erratic naming scheme that James put on YouTube when he uploaded all of our episodes there as seasons.
But why?
And so, what?
But why?
But
You
why
had-
what?
Had you already found it in the podcast app? Why would
I
you
did- I couldn't play it.
Something
I
about
couldn't
your
play it.
story doesn't track.
No, I couldn't play it. It just had
So
the title.
The title was there. The
And when I hit
XML
play-
edited, it
was
was there.
gone.
I just
The
didn't
file
know
was gone.
what
So
Twyman
only-
found is that Spotify keeps a downloaded copy of it.
Yes.
They host it on their own. I don't use the Spotify app for my podcast. And I've never done that.
Who does
And
that?
Twyman, apparently. Lots of people, apparently.
Well, yeah.
And I'll just gonna say this for free. You can go to Spotify and go find the episode. It starts at 4 minutes. I think somebody even posted it in our Discord, and listen to the story. But specifically, I was outraged. To answer his question, I was completely outraged. Number one. Number two, I wasn't regretful because I did like what I found using ChatGPT. I found out how to take a whole channel's worth of YouTube videos, and there's a site that you can mass up. You just add the channel URL, and it parses out and creates subtitles and text for every video. And then I just search that.
Transcribing.
Oh, thank you. Transcribing. Sorry. It transcribes everything for you. And then I was able to search it. But that part of it, linking it, making that system, that took time to do because I had failed versions and iterations at first. I was like, thought I had to do them one at a time. And then I thought I had to copy and paste them out to a Word file. And it didn't have to do all that. But that did take time. And then I gave up because my information was Tony has a hole in his backup, meaning he doesn't have the raw files. They're
I
not
lost a
hosted.
couple months somewhere.
Yeah, they're not hosted anywhere else. And then we remembered that James put them up on YouTube, so I didn't think to go. I did find it in Pocket Cast after a little bit, but I didn't. I was like, oh, it doesn't help me
Did you
because
not
almost
try
as
and match
long-
like the dates on YouTube and Pocket Cast?
I thought maybe James had misnamed them and they would like be combined because I think I thought James wanted to bury that story because we had talked about it because he was like, I'm never gonna post that. I'm not even gonna mention it in the title. And anyway, yeah. So I was shocked. When I went and checked Spotify after Twyman helped us find that within, I don't know, 4 minutes. He said that was super nice. And then it played off the Spotify app. I was like, did not account for the fact that other podcast apps might handle your files differently. Which
And I
brought
do
up a
wanna
question
mention
about
something.
IP and retaining the data.
Ooh.
Like that's ours, but GadgetSpot's gone now. The IP is dissolved into this. They shouldn't be hosting that content anymore. But
Those jerks.
anyway,
I
Thanks,
do wanna make
Twyman.
something. I want to make something here. I want to make a comment here, just real quick. if you like that James Poop story, like it was fine. It was a fine story. I listened to it. First time
That's
I
a
ever heard it.
great
I
story.
giggled.
That was a great
The
story.
Owen story in the in between,
No.
like
I felt-
4 times as good.
No. See,
Darren,
that's
would you
the
concur?
problem.
I don't know about that.
Yes.
I walked off of that going. I
It's better,
feel like
for sure.
I feel like I one-upped James's story or something.
did.
in it.
No, you did.
And I
Yeah.
didn't. I didn't mean to do that. I didn't mean to be like, oh, James can't have a better poop story than me. It's not how it went. It just, as I told you, as the memories unlock and I get to deal with things as I'm getting older, and they're like, hey, my brain's like, hey, we saved this for you. We saved this. We shielded you from this memory, but now you're mature enough to deal with it. And then it unlocks, and I just get to feel the shame and regret and everything. Like, anyway, it was the moment. It was in the moment. There is another one. There is another one in Locked and Loaded, like Lando said.
4 subs. That's all it's going to take.
4 subs. It's 6. I said 6 new Patreon subs. So you want to hear
All
it?
right, let's get on with our stories. I think we have a little bit of a theme here, so we're gonna start here with Owen. China is slowing everyone's roll.
So I've had this on here for a couple weeks, but China's making a massive they're making a massive hydroelectric dam system, and these colossal water infrastructure and water retention things are changing the balance of the Earth and its rotation. I don't know if you guys know. Do you guys know how tide works? How the tide doesn't come in.
Yeah.
No,
Put it in
the
the washing machine,
ocean.
yeah.
I mean, yeah, okay, you got me there. I should have said ocean tide.
Clean.
You got it. I walked into that.
Nothing gets past these guys, Owen.
But we think of the tide as coming in and out, but actually we're spinning through the tide. If you look at the world, it's
like a
actually
washing machine.
it's kind of oblong, and the water is at the ends, and we go in and out of that high tide
Like the
thing.
clothes.
Neil deGrasse Tyson has a really good way he
Yes.
explains that.
It is quite good.
And anyway, so we know that the water and where we hold water is affected, obviously, by centrifugal force because the Earth is rotating. And so China is making these huge hydroelectric dams, and it's actually measurably slowing the Earth by... It's really, really small. I had this number memorized the first. Oh, here it is. 0.06 microseconds.
So not
It's like
nothing, but
6
basically nothing.
1,000ths of a second.
Yeah.
6
So
thousandths
yeah.
of a second.
So this enormous water mass would increase the length of a day. Oh, it increases the length of a day by 0.06 microseconds, and slightly alters the Earth's shape, making it more rounded at the equator and flatter at the poles.
So speaking of lengths of day, I just want a fun fact from the John Green's YouTube channel talking about time zones. There's actually a time zone in the world that encompasses 2 completely uninhabited planets that are minus 13 from GMT, which makes it so
Planets?
that there's
Planets?
hours. But if
You
you do the
said-
math, that makes it so that those time zones can technically have 25 hours in a day instead of 20. He explained it really well, but it was really interesting that there's an extra time zone slice just chunked out for 2 little islands nobody lives on.
Oh, islands.
Oh, islands. You said
Islands.
planets.
Yeah,
no
you did say
islands. Did I
planets.
say planets? I
Yeah.
might have.
It's like, what's he talking about?
Anyway,
Islands.
this is the new eco terrorism. So instead of doing crazy stuff to swamps and lakes, you just build huge hydroelectric dams, and they're saying that those minuscule changes, even 0.06 microseconds longer of a day, can affect ocean currents. It's the butterfly effect, right? Like, this is the new way to do it. You don't have to.
There was a movie a while back, and I can't remember what it was, but there was a subplot in it where China was trying to time every one of their inhabitants to stand on chairs and jump off at the same time to slightly alter the rotation of the Earth, like 1.2 billion people landing at the same time. Supposed to alter the rotation of the Earth, and I can't remember what that movie was. It's pretty funny though. Anyway,
So
I
speaking of
can't
the climate
I'm gonna
stuff, I have
find
an
that.
interesting story here about climate change. There's a new study that's been released talking about rich people and how rich people are doing the majority of the climate change that's happening in the world. So it's pretty interesting. The study shows that extreme climate impacts are not just the result of abstract global emissions. Instead, we can directly relate them to our lifestyle and investment choices, specifically linked to wealth. So some of the numbers here that I thought were pretty interesting. Where are they? There it is. So in 2020, the global mean temperature was 0.61 degrees Celsius, higher than in 1990. The research found that 65% of the increase could be attributed directly to the richest 10% of the world's population. A group they defined as including all those earning more than $42,000 a year.
Oh, 42.
Or 42,000. It looks like an upside down F. That's not euros. What is that?
Pounds? No. Francs?
Francs don't exist anymore.
Oh, yeah, it's
I don't know
euro,
what that
huh?
is. And how that equates to dollars. Because the other numbers are here, I'm going to give here in a second, are euros with the E. Anyhow, wealthier groups are even more disproportionately responsible still, with the richest 1% annual incomes of 147,200 euros are responsible for 20% of the global heating, and the richest 0.1% or 800,000 people are in the world making more than 537,000 euros a year are responsible for 8% of global warming, which is
that makes
interesting,
sense.
right?
The more money you have, the more cars you have, the bigger your house is.
The more
So you're
model
saying
problems.
The higher carbon footprint, which
Yep,
when
all
you
that
but
stuff.
then when you look, I mean, unless you're in the cattle industry or the shipping industry, then your carbon footprint is really minuscule as compared to the big players out there, right? Like, even
Yeah.
if I had 30 cars, even if I had 30 cars and was running a Bitcoin farm in my basement, like,
Well, how big is the Bitcoin farm?
I don't know, maybe 400 devices. Okay, then I'm a contributor
I was
for
gonna
sure.
say
Yeah,
that-
for
that'll
sure.
add up.
Those are the people there's a story I just read. There's people buying power plants, old power plants that have old coal-fired power plants.
Mm-hmm.
They're trying to rebuy them and fire them up to run Bitcoin.
Yeah, we talked about that
It's-
a couple years ago.
It's like the more money we come across, the more problems we see.
But
Okay, TLC,
It's not TLC.
Destiny's Child.
It's not that either.
Who is it?
somebody
The Notorious B.I.G. man.
no problem.
I just heard of ladies' voice
B.I.G.
singing.
B.O.P.
All right, moving on. I want to talk about DJI. Tony.
Me?
Or no,
I have
that's
a D-
Jaren's story. Sorry.
I have a
I missed the
DJI
Jaren
story.
headline. That's a Jaren story.
I'm
DJI.
loving this.
I was trying to skip
DJI, they released the new Mavic 4 Pro. It's coming out worldwide, except
Not
the
here.
U.S.
No.
Yeah.
Is there workarounds? Can you get it shipped here? Can you buy it with a VPN
Oddly
in Europe?
enough, Adorama and what's that other one based out of New
B&H.
York? B&H are selling it for some reason, even though DJI themselves are saying that they're not going to sell it to the U.S. Just because of all of the mess that's going on here.
They're probably just importing it.
Well, it's tariffs, but it was also, we talked about something a little while back
Resellers.
about how there was some other thing preventing that could.
DJI might get on a ban list.
That's it.
Yeah.
Specifically from the
I
government.
think it got suspended for now, but they're not out of the woods yet.
Looks like a nice drone, though. 51 minutes of battery life. It's the first with a built-in 100-megapixel camera. It does 6K, 60 FPS HDR.
Why must you
with
tease
its
us?
triple
What do you
camera
what do you
array.
use? What do you use your DJ? What would you use it for? What like? What do you use it for?
See, that's the
Is
problem.
it
There's
just
so
fun
many
to
gadgets
fly?
I want that I know I don't really have a use for, but I want them anyway.
Like, I would not mind getting one of those RC jets that you see. Those look cool. Those are fun to fly. But like,
well, they're fun to fly. They're
but
fun to fly.
DJI is like, I mean, it's meant to capture photos and videos, right? Like,
Anyway, though, I hope this is
Yeah.
not part of a larger trend of skipping the U.S. with some awesome devices, because DJI
I hope it
makes
is.
awesome devices.
I hope it is. I hope it is because I need this to be the find out phase for everybody, and I'm here for that.
It already is, I think.
It's not hitting home with a lot of people I know.
That's true. It's not
They're-
hitting that
it's-
hard
it's
yet.
not.
And
Yeah.
they secured a
They're just
90-day.
They're just washing it away. They're like,
Tariff
oh,
thing.
that they'll bend. Yeah, of course they did.
That's gonna
All
be
right, let's move on to a Tony story.
good.
Tell me about this reactor magnet that's beefy.
I'm not
Like a
done talking
taco?
about tariffs. So, no, I'm just kidding. Yeah, tokamak reactors. We've talked about these before. One of the new options for fusion power, the power of the sun in the palm of your hand. You know,
Wow, that's a good line.
like
should
Doc
Spider-Man.
says.
Spider-Man,
I know.
yes. What a great scene.
Indeed. They are
I don't like that
finalizing
movie, though.
one of their
Yeah, you do.
big ones
I don't.
that they're working on.
I don't.
What are you talking? What?
I don't like that movie.
You don't like Spider-Man 2? The
So
possibly the best Spider-Man movie of all the Spider-Man movies.
That's wrong. Spider-Man 1 was the best Spider-Man.
you're
crazy.
wrong.
No.
You're wrong.
I have a very specific reason, and you guys don't have to agree, and that's fine. All of the problems in Spider-Man 2 could have been resolved just by communicating, and that's why I don't like Spider-Man 2. So we could just move on.
This is coming from the guy who thinks the last 3 Star Wars movies were good. I don't buy it.
You
I
can't
love the last
communicate
Star
your
Wars
way
movies.
out of a chip that warps someone's mind.
Yeah, dude.
How do you communicate your way out of that?
So he's a psycho. He had to.
They even talked about it when they brought him back for
Yeah.
Spider-Man No Way Home. Was
No
that
Way Home. No, it was the Multiverse of Madness.
That was Doctor Strange, Multiverse of Madness. But I'm thinking of the Spider-Man movie that had Doctor Strange in it, where
Oh yeah.
No Way
we
Home,
had
yeah.
Alfred
Yeah, No Way Home.
Molina back, and they
Yeah.
fixed
Fixed
his
him.
chip.
You know, was he
so he
the only
wasn't
one that got
crazy anymore.
fixed? Was he the only one that got fixed out of
No,
that
they
group?
kind of all got fixed, except for they didn't.
except for when they didn't. Yeah, there you go.
Okay.
Anyway, this
So-
magnet.
Owen, talk to me about cyber.
Hey, I'm not
skirmishes.
done.
No, yeah, we got to talk about his
I
talking
didn't even talk about my thing.
Oh, okay. Sorry, I thought we were done with that because we were talking about movies all of a sudden.
We got sidetracked. It's not so
Yeah,
easy.
I
is
could
it,
tell.
Lando? So, this is part of the central solenoid of the International Thermonuclear Experimental Reactor. It's a big old huge magnet core
Do you want to play a game?
and is supposedly,
What's a solenoid?
It's a good reference.
I don't know,
Nobody got it.
but this is a big one. And this magnet supposedly is powerful enough that it could levitate an aircraft
That's
carrier 6 feet in
terrifying.
Holy
That's-
crap!
Okay,
Are
that's
you
terrifying.
serious?
Have you
This
guys
is
ever been at the
magneto
hospital?
level.
Have you ever?
magnetry.
Yeah, have you ever been at a hospital and you see those? You see the MRI machines, and
Yeah.
you kind of steer clear because you have metal in your pockets,
Yep.
and
Yeah.
you've seen the horror stories of how do you even contain that? Is this underground? Like when they fire this up, does everybody's
Well, so
earrings
it's-
in the whole 1 mile radius kind of?
So it's contained because it's an electromagnet, right? You can turn it off.
Oh, okay, yeah, I
But
get that. But when
it
it's full
points-
power,
The way it works, I guess, is the tokamak ones are the donut shape, right?
oh yeah.
So it's all
they're
pointed
so
within
the magnetic
toward
field.
itself,
Oh, I
basically,
see.
creates a
To
magnetic
contain
field.
to contain the plasma.
But if you were to take it and point it all in one direction, you could apparently levitate an aircraft.
I think
carrier.
that's the next move here. I think that's how we move things now. We just
Big
hover.
magnets.
hover
Maybe
'em
that's how
underneath.
the Egyptians did it with the build the pyramids.
Yeah,
There's
for
no metal in the
magnetic
pyramids.
sandstone.
So
Yep.
they make submarines that have those magnets on the bottom, and they just lift those aircraft carriers.
Wikipedia says
Flying
a
aircraft.
solenoid is a type of electromagnet formed by a helical coil of wire whose length is substantially greater than its diameter, which
There you go.
generates a controlled magnetic field.
Boom.
Yeah,
Solenoid.
battery wire. When you wrap wire around a battery, it makes
Just
that
learned.
or a nail.
I want to see more of this. This sounds awesome.
Make an electromagnet. It's really easy.
Like,
Just
they
wrap a
should put
wire around a
these-
nail.
They should put these in the roads everywhere. It'd probably kill people with pacemakers.
Can you imagine? But can you imagine, that's your defense? Like, that's your base defense? Like, for a military base? Like, they see a car flying towards the thing, and they're just like, yeah, flip on the old solenoid, my guys. And it just shoots that thing,
blasts it out.
shoots that car in the atmosphere?
That's magneto
Yeah.
level stuff.
Yeah, I'm here for that.
Alrighty
the
then.
end of my
Thank
story.
you, Tony. Now I want to talk about cyber skirmishes.
This one's happening with. So this kind of gets into the politics a little bit. This was from last week when Mike Walz, he was using that app to coordinate military stuff, and he was using a branch of of that
Signal.
signal. Yeah, it's called Telemessage. And
None of it was encrypted, by the way.
no, and
Oh,
that's so. First of all, a Reuters photograph showed him using the Telemessage, which is an unofficial, not even official. It's an unofficial version of the popular encrypted messaging app Signal. On his phone during a cabinet meeting on Wednesday, and this story was from May 5th. So
Yeah, I think we mentioned this last week very briefly.
yeah, and then. I think the reason I put the story on there is because Telemessage was involved and Mike Walz. But one of the other things they're doing is they're deporting a bunch of people right now, and they're not telling anybody where they're sending them. They're not giving them any information. It's really kind of
They're
weird.
talking about suspending habeas corpus,
Yeah, which is
What is habeas corpus, Tony?
the right to a trial, I believe.
due process.
Due process.
He said when Trump was asked about due process, he said some people deserve due process. Some people. No,
Next
no,
up,
no.
some people deserve free speech.
So what happened was that back a while ago, Anonymous. Do you remember when Anonymous kind of threatened the Trump administration and the GOP in general? That happened about a year and a half ago. Well, they're kind of making good on it, and so they've
Yeah,
been.
they're unencrypted. Anonymous, I'm sure, is doing
So
the thing.
so Anonymous went after this GlobalX Flights, which is the charter company that's been facilitated to do these to deporting these Venezuelan people to El Salvador without due process, without any checks. Just see you later. And it says so. And by the way, that a judge told them they need to keep records, flight records. And so of all the people that they've sent out, just in case, so there's due process, because like this other guy who had the Photoshop tattoo on his fingers and all that debacle.
It wasn't Photoshop. It was like a text box.
Yeah,
with
it was literally like
letters.
somebody.
It wasn't even a Photoshop.
And
that was the
you
wildest
should've-
part about
You
it.
should have seen it. And did you guys see his meltdown?
I watched the interview.
It was a meltdown.
It is
was,
one of the this is if Biden had done anything even
any
close to
president.
this stuff,
any president in
they would've-
history
they would
ever.
have shot him.
Yeah.
Like it's crazy.
So Anonymous, what they said is, so they also Anonymous got a hold of GlobalX's website, which it added a post to because they hacked in. Anonymous has decided to enforce the judge's order since you and your sycophant staff ignore lawful orders that go against your fascist plans. And that was a defacement message posted to GlobalX's website. So they because he's not they're not complying with the manifest and keeping manifests and records. Because again, as facts have come out, they're like, oh, we shouldn't have deported that person. And then they went back to Venezuela and they're like, hey, we want that guy back. We weren't actually supposed to deport him. And
You mean El Salvador?
El Salvador, yeah.
Yeah.
And they're like, no, thanks. We're going to keep him.
Dude,
Sorry.
I watched an article about what this prison is like in El Salvador that they're sending these people to.
Yeah.
It is basically a prison camp. It's an internment camp.
Yeah.
Like it's wild.
We just had I don't remember the Republican's name, but we just had a senator go out there and tour it and gave it high remarks for its reformative.
Okay. I'm gonna put a stop to this right now.
I should have.
It's killing my vibes. I hate it so much.
I should have prefaced that with political ties, but the whole story was that Anonymous hacked GlobalX.
I hope Anonymous does more of that.
I like vigilante internet justice in that way.
I do too.
As
Well,
long
this
as
isn't
it's
even
for-
justice. This is just shining a light.
It's just
on
information release.
What's wrong?
Yeah.
You know what's going on. It's
Yep.
not even the justice piece yet.
Yeah.
Freaking crazy.
All right, so we're gonna move on from that bummer of a story. Thanks, Owen.
You're welcome.
Let's talk about alchemists being right. All
I
along.
saw
Yeah.
this. I'm so excited for this.
Turns out you can turn lead into gold.
Easy.
I'm in.
Yeah. Yeah. Like
They just didn't
How
have
do
any
you do it,
hydrogen.
Jared?
They didn't have any colliders.
all you need is the Large Hadron Collider.
Okay,
Okay,
so they
check.
didn't have one of those.
Easy.
To smash subatomic particles
Oh.
together at ridiculously high speeds.
So they just didn't run fast enough. If they would have been holding lead and ran at each other,
Yeah, I guess the Flash could do it.
The Flash.
could do it.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Flash could do it.
Anyway, so they smash subatomic particles together at really high speeds, and it manipulates the lead's physical properties to become gold. Basically, it drops a few
Electrons, which is
subatomic particles, and bam, you got gold. They say it
this
only
sounds like a
lasts,
gold farm.
Yeah, they say it only lasts very, very briefly, where
Yeah.
it is gold, and then it just kind of dissolves altogether or something.
Come
like that.
on.
So it's not very cost effective.
It needs to
No.
be. This is
No,
a gold
but-
farm in Minecraft, right? Just
But
smash.
the alchemists were right, though. They're doing it. It's modern day.
I mean, we
alchemy.
always knew it was possible.
Alchemists. were
Did
just
we,
ahead of
Owen?
the
Who
curve.
Yeah.
knew this was always possible?
Well, we always knew theoretically
Who's
that it was
we?
just one atom. We, as the scientific community, you
Is this one of your
Luddite.
sous vide facts?
No, maybe.
This is a sous vide fact.
Is a sous vide. So we had a very good conversation about my alternative facts.
In our super secret Slack.
And
Slack
in our
channel.
super secret Slack, and it basically boiled down to, pun intended, sous vide. I like to sous vide my facts. It breaks down the interconnective tissue, makes them easier to handle.
Sometimes interconnected
tastier.
tissue can be logic, and it just breaks it right down.
Yeah. Don't tell me it doesn't taste good though, huh?
Oh yeah, half
There's
of America
so
loves
many-
those kind of facts.
Yeah.
Wait, I got a thing for that.
Oh! Got
Okay. Anyway.
Got him.
All right. Anyway, so it drops 3 protons, and it's gold for a fraction of a second before it completely dissolves.
Into what? What does it
Fragments
dissolve
into a bunch of
Just
particles. Yeah.
Oh.
Interesting.
How do they isolate one lead atom or one lead?
I don't know, man.
Do they just drop in a chunk?
Honestly, this sounds less probable than what the alchemists were doing.
I think
just
what they
take,
do is they put a block of it in there and then just hit it with. They spin up the collider, and then as the particles just bash through that lead.
They turn it on, and then they open the little hatch and throw in a couple of lead weights from fishing poles.
Yeah, it's probably what happened.
You
Somebody's filling probably fell in.
Dude,
I
if
don't
they
know how
got
it's
lead
lead fillings.
fillings, then
They're probably
they
dead.
should not be scientists.
They're from the 1800s.
Do you remember Pogs? I had a lead smasher.
And it was
Nice.
the best, wasn't it?
Did you eat it?
And
Don't chew those.
I was so worried whenever I touched it that I would like wash my hands like minutes afterwards. But
And you've
it
never
was
stopped
heavy.
washing your hands.
It was heavy.
I had a brass smasher, and it was
I don't
Yeah.
know how I got a lead smasher.
good. Yeah, how did you get that?
I have no
That's
idea.
soft. Yeah, bend.
Yeah, who knows?
All right, Jaron, talk to us about your Amazfit Active 2.
Finally. All right. So I mentioned this on the show a couple months ago when it was announced. The Amazfit Active 2 is a $100 smartwatch. I'm going to hold it up to the camera so you YouTube people can see what it looks like.
You want to go big mode?
Ooh, I
Oh.
like it.
Oh, no. It's
What did you
tracking
do?
me again.
What's
Here it is.
happening? I can't see the watch.
Ooh,
There it
that's
is.
neat.
There it is.
That's
Is that a
upside
digital
down.
face?
Yeah, it's a digital face.
Wow.
It's like not huge.
Okay.
Also
and,
not small.
Well, let me
Looks
show you
giant
on my
on
wrist.
Jaren's wrists. No, don't. We're gonna shame you if you do.
And I've
your
disappeared
tiny
completely.
hands.
We've lost him. He's
Hello. Hi. Come
my
down.
What is
gosh.
happening?
It's his fancy schmancy.
Okay, I'm
webcam.
gonna make it stay still. Okay, there we go. All right. So this is what it looks like on my wrist. So I have little girly wrists here.
Yeah,
It
you
doesn't
do.
look- it doesn't
I'm not
look too
ashamed
massive.
about that at all. And normally smartwatches with amazing battery life are like quite giant. This one is not giant. It looks sensible on my wrist. Very sensible.
How good is the battery life?
They say the battery life lasts up to 10 days.
Pretty good.
But that is if you do not have the screen on at all times. And to me, if I'm going to have a watch, that screen better be on at all times.
Yep.
So
Agreed.
with the screen on and me just doing normal stuff, working out, not really
Wait, you
worrying
work
about
out?
battery life. Yeah, or else I'd be way more overweight than I am.
Interesting.
Anyway, I get 4 days. So not
It's-
anywhere close to the 10, but it's still 4 times longer than an Apple Watch.
yeah 4x increase.
Right. Right.
But what do you miss out on? Do you still get all the sensors? What
I'm
do you?
glad you asked, Owen.
Yeah.
So all the sensors that I care about are still there. It still does blood oxygen, heart rate, step tracking, all that, just normal
Does it
stuff.
warn you might be having a heart attack or a stroke?
I have something
yeah.
to talk about that when Jaren's done. Yeah.
Probably not. I don't know about that specifically,
Cardiorrhythmia or whatever they.
but
EKG.
it is a round-faced watch, which I love. I wish
You do
Apple
love.
would do a round-faced watch because people just
You
like
just
different
gotta
styles.
You got to go with the Pixel Watch, man.
Yeah, but this one's
No.
only $100, and
true.
honestly, it is quite good for the price. Like amazing for the price. It's got an OLED screen. Screen looks great. Again, the battery life is amazing. It because of iOS restrictions, it can't do quite nearly as much as the Apple Watch could. Like you can't reply to notifications, just because that's more of a system limitation than anything else. But however, the fitness tracking I actually like quite a bit. I can't speak to its what's the word? Correctedness. It's
Accuracy?
accuracy. Thanks, Tony.
Yeah, I
Feels
guess.
good not to be the only one.
Because I'm not a fitness watch guru that compares a billion different fitness watches together, but it seems pretty good. Like the same routes I do for running and stuff like that. It's pretty much right in line with the Apple Watch. It has GPS built in, so I mean, it seems to be tracking my steps well. The main difference I find that I like better compared to the Apple Watch is I like how it displays the data so much more.
Like in the app or on the watch?
In the app, I guess, and the watch as well. I really don't like the health app at all. I think it's the graphs may be pretty, but the way it's organized and the way it displays the data, I just think is not great. And I've opened it maybe 5 times just because whenever I open it, I'm like, what am I even looking at? It's a
bad.
maze. The Zep app, which is the app that you use to sync the Amazfit Active 2, I hate the name of the Zep app, but it's actually a pretty good app. I really like the way it displays the data. It makes me interested in it. And since it has 4 to 10 days of battery life, it does sleep tracking. I don't have to worry about charging it. So that's cool. It'll automatically detect your workouts, blah, 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 all that great stuff. So, like, overall, if you're a casual smartwatch user, I would totally recommend this. I'd give it a 9 out of 10. It's
For
really
$100.
really good. And I would recommend spending $30 more. That's what I did. For $130, you get a sapphire crystal display,
So it's stronger glass.
stronger glass, and it's made of stainless steel rather than, I think, probably aluminum. And Tony expressed doubt on if it really is sapphire or not. And I looked into it, and it was a whole can of worms. And there was no definitive answer on if it was sapphire or if the Apple Watch Ultra was sapphire also. Because
There's no Jerry Rigs everything breakdown with the Mohs scratchness test.
not that I could find. Not on this.
bummer.
It's not popular enough. But I will say it fingerprints very differently than a typical smartphone glass display or
I'm
watch.
betting it has a synthetic sapphire like coating.
It feels different,
what I'm
and
betting.
like looking through it, it's more reflective than normal glass. So I don't know. The jury's out on that, but $30 more also gives you a leather band. The bands, you can't swap them out quite as well as the Apple Watch. It's the old pin system, but there's like a
Got that
little
old
latch.
is it leather? Like a leather strap?
Yeah, it's a leather strap. It also
Thanks.
comes, if you get the $130 version, also comes with like a sport band that you can pop out. But anyway, so there are trade-offs. Like, it doesn't integrate with iOS nearly as well. The bands aren't as easy to swap out. And I think it looks classy and expensive, but my wife saw it, and she's like, what's with the cheap watch?
Interesting.
But I've asked other people, they're like, no, I like the looks. So I think
It goes with your
think
your
she's
brass
fine
and wood vibe you got going behind you. You know?
Yeah,
The cover.
I think so.
It's got that like cigar type of corner office feel to it. You know?
Well, I
Well,
like that
thank
it
you.
doesn't look like an Apple Watch, so people don't like, you're not a rich kind of
Right,
douchebag.
right. And there's a ton of different watch faces, like a ton of different watch faces.
How does it? I have a question. How does it do
yeah.
with like notifications, like text messages and stuff? Is that pretty good?
Yeah, it shows the notification just fine. You just can't reply to it.
Does it have any
Sure.
haptics like
Yeah.
vibration and stuff?
It does. It has a standard vibration motor. It doesn't have like the fancy tap like the Apple Watch has. So again, there are trade-offs, but it's $100 to $130,
Right.
and with that, you're getting 4 times the battery life and a circular watch face if that's your style. So given the
It sounds
price,
like the trade-offs aren't bad for the price.
right,
Yeah.
right. Given the price, I think it's
Well, compared
it's-
to the
it's
Google
awesome.
Pixel 3, the Pixel Watch 3, which is $350. Plus,
So
I like that.
It
look
says
it's
here
got.
on the website, if you're in battery saver mode, you can get up to 19 days
Oh,
of
wow.
battery in battery saver mode.
But that won't battery saver automatically turns.
I'm
off
sure it turns off the
always
face,
on
yeah.
the screen and
Yeah,
And
stuff
probably
like that.
turn off all the sensors as well.
Heavy
like the
usage,
heart
4 to
rate
5
sensor.
days. So Jaren's numbers line up with the website pretty
Yeah.
accurately.
And so, like, I can go on a small road trip and not have to worry about charging it. Speaking of charging, it is not as slick of an experience. Again, that's kind of where the $100 comes from. Rather than charging magnetically, there's little pins on the charging
Ooh.
puck, so you have to line
Yeah.
up the pins.
Mm.
It's still magnetic, so it snaps into place. But all it comes with is this tiny little black puck, which I had lost for an entire week. And so actually today's the first day I'm wearing it for a week because I couldn't find the charging puck.
It's hard. Well, it's hard too because of that. Because of not being magnetic. It's if you lose the charger, the watch is useless, right? Like,
Yeah, and that's why I didn't wear it for a week. Luckily, I put on pants today, and the charger was in my pants. Right before the show, actually, I'm like, oh, this is where the charger
Overjoyed.
was. It's
We
perfect.
We are quite lucky you put pants on.
Yeah. Well, I mean, you don't see my below my waist anyway.
Except for when you stand up, but it's the
like
worst.
Winnie the Pooh.
Yeah. So anyway, Amazfit Active 2. Amazfit has a lot of different models out there. I've only done the Active 2. It's a fantastic price. I think it's a good watch. If you're like a fitness nut, you're probably not going to like it. You're going to find reasons why the tracking probably is off in some way because I guarantee for $100 they probably had to cut corners somewhere. But for my casual active lifestyle, it is more than adequate, and I think it's a great product.
So speaking of health tracking, 6 days into my sickness, I got this message from my Apple Watch.
Are you dead? Do you need me to call
Not
911?
quite, but it was one of those things where it's like, oh, it is always watching. Look at that. I got a message that said, hey, your average heart rate has been much higher for the last 6 days
That's that Sudafed.
than your previous historical data. And I was like, whoa.
I thought it was gonna give you hits on your blood oxygen as well, since that was
Yeah.
probably lower with the flu.
Well, it did say respiratory rate was the other one it sent me.
Oh, okay.
Say your respiratory rate has been markedly higher on average over the last 6 days.
little gaspy. Little.
Yeah, exactly.
And one last thing, if you do happen to like the Apple Health app, it will sync all of the data to that app as well.
Yeah.
So it's not
you have
like
to
you're
set it
throwing
up
that
as
away.
an in between, right?
Right. The fitness app won't work, but the Apple Health app will.
That's what I have to do with my Samsung watch. With
Did
my
you
Pixel.
look at the balance watch from them too, Amazfit?
I did not.
So look at the balance watch here. It's $150. It's on sale right now for $50 off. Usually it's $200. Looks like it might be a good alternative. It claims 14 days battery life. It has a modern thin design. It's still round. Dual band GPS, and offline maps, ZepFlow, fully integrated with AI assistance, heart rate, SPO, whatever that is, sleep and stress
Okay.
monitoring. So it does all the same kind of stuff. I don't know. Might be worth looking at that too. This looks like a kind of cool company you found here, Jaron.
It looks like the only difference is like style and battery life. This has more battery life, but it like the Active 2 does all of the same tracking.
I
cool
think I
bundle,
prefer
too.
the style of this one better.
SPO2 is your oxygen percentage, I think.
Blood oxygen, yeah, this
Yeah.
does that.
Interesting. Anyway, cool. Let's do a quick lightning round, guys.
I'm in.
Jaron, let's start with you. Well, no, you just had a story. No. We're going to Owen. Start with Owen.
What do I have?
Lightning round.
He's
I
already
think we
done
did
both of
Yeah,
his
we
stories.
did both mine.
Nice. I'll do my lightning round real quick.
That was fast.
Google's changing the logo. First time in like 10 years. It's going to have more colors. Yay, Google. Oh, Tony, go.
Samsung went on a little audio company purchasing spree and have purchased for $350 million audio brands Bowers & Wilkins, Denon, Marantz, and,
They bought Denon?
and
They
Polk.
Okay. I
And
like
Polk?
Denon.
And
Holy
Polk.
cow!
And Polk. I like
I-
Denon and Polk. I've heard of those.
Oh, I hope they don't destroy him.
So this was particularly interesting to me because Denon purchased that company that makes those Nura True Pro earbuds that I like.
That's right.
Denon bought them a couple years ago, so now technically Samsung owns
The NeuroTrue Pros.
NeuroTrue company.
I really like Denon's receivers. I hope Samsung doesn't screw with them.
Yeah, and this is just another couple of folders in their audio package that they own now. They own Harman Kardon, JBL, AKG, Mark Levinson, and someone called Arkham and Revel.
That's some big names.
So yeah, they have a lot of different audio companies that they own now.
Unilever of audio companies.
Yeah, that's what it feels like.
Yeah.
So anyway, there you go. That unless that gets blocked for some reason, that should go through pretty soon here.
Okay, Jared, quick lightning round, please.
Philips is a company that used to make a ton of chips, but not anymore, and they still make shavers as well as light bulbs and all a bunch of
I
other
love my
stuff.
Philips shaver, by the way.
Mm-hmm.
It's one of my favorite gadgets.
Yeah,
It works
I
really,
like
really
mine
good.
too.
Do you have that
It's-
green one? Do you know what I'm talking about?
No, mine's Panasonic. Never mind. I'm sorry.
Oh.
I regret my error. Anyway, Philips is debuting 3D printable components.
I love
Like,
this.
Replaceable components that you can 3D print yourself.
That's freaking sweet.
Yeah, they're starting small. It's only a part for a shaver right now.
Little
Basically,
razor.
guards. You can
Yeah, guards.
clip onto the shaver.
Yep. So it sounds like, though, that they're going to expand on this, and I hope many other companies take notice because this
Yeah.
is just a good idea.
There's already a
And-
huge offering of these on Thingiverse and stuff, like people doing it on their own. I think companies are leaving money on the table by not just promoting that and either giving the plans out or
Well, yeah, you
selling
give
them themselves, you know?
you give the STLs out,
Yeah.
and that is a perk of buying their product.
Is that,
You know,
yeah.
they can maybe charge a little more for buying their product or whatever because you know that you're going to be able to grab an STL for that product that you just bought and print something off for it that you wouldn't be able to use with a competing product.
Yep.
Yeah,
I
I
think
think
more
that's a great
companies-
idea. It'll
Yeah,
cut down
Ford-
on e-waste, and I think it make loyal customers. Would for me for
Ford-
sure.
Yeah, Ford has dabbled in this with the Maverick.
I love that about
Whole
the
bunch
Maverick.
of
And
STLs you can
you
print
can
for your Maverick
and you
truck.
just scan the QR code and it gives you the STL. It's
Yep.
fantastic.
So-
I don't know if I like the Maverick, but
Right,
the
yeah.
idea
I mean, I'm in the same
is-
boat. I think it's a
but
little,
yeah.
it's a little small for my taste, but that's
Yeah.
just because I'm a Sasquatch.
Yeah,
But I
so
like what they're doing.
the
with it.
idea.
Yep.
It's kind of the same thing behind those laptops. They're all
Yeah, framework.
framework. Yep. That's it.
Cool. Thank you. I think that's it for us. But before we go, I got to do my job. My favorite job. We're going to do the Patreon stuff. So real quick, I know I mentioned this at the beginning of the show, but I'm going to stress it again. More Owen stories is always better. 4 more subs, we're there. Also, you get access to a super secret Discord channel. You get the shows early, both shows together, ad-free with the in-between. The in-between's where all the good stuff's at, guys. We talk about embarrassing stories there. We talk about rants and raves. We just talk about generally whatever we want.
Sometimes we do games, don't we?
Special. Yeah, sometimes we play games. We do
Lists,
special
yeah.
bonus content for those of you who pay us money. Not required, but if you want a little something extra, it's there for you. If you give us $6 or more, we give you a special shout out on the air, which I lovingly refer to as "Make Jaron say whatever you want to make Jaron say," and he's gonna do that for you right now.
Big shout out and thank you. Oh no, I closed my tab. Oh,
Oh, no.
freak!
Right click and just do
Professionals.
reopen close tab.
I don't know how. Oh, is that it? Okay.
Yeah, right click,
go.
reopen, close tab.
Yeah, yep, got it. All right, big shout out. And thank you, David Broshinsky, Interrupting Cow, Aaron Faulkner, Connor Keesaw, A Fire at a Sea Parks, Ben Trash King Jones. Thank you. And Fourth Dimension Craft on Instagram for all your laser engraving needs. Make 7 up yours. Jason Eatman.
What a great show. What a great commercial.
Embargo, D's Nuts, Lambo, Andy Bird, Be the 8-year-old, Kyle, Chester the Cheeto Commander and Chief, Jerry Ga Arimasu, Tony the Excel and Power Apps Nerd, Pieman Graphics, purveyor of fine geeky stickers, Kursk Guard 94, Kesslo, Eric Steinman, Eric Cruz, The Between Rating Plus 500, Narrow at both ends, wide at the center.
Like a football.
DP. I want to get stuck in Lang's beard. Wesley. Enter clever Patreon name here.
Yep.
Stuart Lloyd. If you try and take a cat apart to see how it works, the first thing you have on your hands is a non-working cat. And finally, yes, Owen, we do care.
Thank you.
Play the
Patrons.
music, Tony. There it is. There's the music. Thanks for listening, dear listener. Thanks for making it the end of our show. We hope you had a good time. I know I did. I understand things were a little off the rails. I don't usually host the show. I did my best. I'll do better for the game show. At least we'll try. But until then, we will see you next time. Tony, take us out, my friend.
If you ever can't remember if there's a Sonic and Knuckles movie, just interrupt everybody you can to find out, and maybe you'll find out. Who knows? But maybe.
But
Be an
there's
end
not one.
user.